welcome back to our live feedback and session here. Let me drop the fader here a little bit. And we're going to be talking about routing. We're going to be talking about arranging your tracks, right? So let me know if you guys are out there, if you guys are watching. This is Ground Zero dancehall rhythm here. One of the roughest and toughest rhythm. Let me knock off the let me take off the compressor here. Let me bring up the limiter here. So yeah, let me know if you guys are tuning in, man. I'm just gonna go straight into it. Okay, so welcome back to another live stream from Pristine Productions here, and we're gonna be talking about how you arrange your tracks and routing. So let's start off with the routing first, right? Here I have some tracks here, some mini tracks. Let's see, I have the wave station here. And did you know, guys, that if you hit the caps button, you can use your QWERTY keyboard to make tunes? You know, you can do all of that stuff. So here is the MIDI tracks here, right? With a single click, you can chop up the blocks. You know, if I wanted to move this around here, always make sure you're set up in bars and beats mode, and it has the snap enable. So for example, I have this block of music here. And if I go ahead and hit the letter D, it's gonna duplicate that block. So you gotta time yourself when you're composing rhythms here. I normally want to go for a bar. I'm gonna bring up the metronome here by hitting the letter C. Three, four, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can hold down. I can press the D button all day, and I can loop this right here. Let's say I wanted to do something else interesting, right? Let's say I just wanted the last part. So I'm going to start off from about here. I'm going to double click, and I'm going to hit D, and check this out. Different arrangement here. Check this out. I'm going to play it from here. So I'm changing the arrangement as I chop up the blocks. That's how you do that in Studio One. And let's talk about routing. The same thing with the bass. you know. So it's very easy. With one click of a button, you can chop up your blocks and you can arrange your beats. Make sure it's set on bars, and snap is on, so it snaps in place. Now to route in Studio One, bring up the mix button here. It's F3 shortcut, and this is my keyboard here. If I wanted to route that, I could just go here on the output, and I can choose if I wanted to come out of the mix bus. Let's click the mix bus. If I want to come out of the drum bus, and there it changed real time. That's how you route. And same thing for the auxiliary tracks. I can go right here and I can choose what other buses I want to route it out of. Also, you have the pre-fader on and off switch. You switch it on, it turns yellow. It means you're sending the signal pre-fader, so the volume doesn't change on the fader if you turn it off. Let's see if I can do an example here for you. So I'm gonna bring up let's see, I'm gonna use the same keyboard here, and I'm gonna turn on my pre-fader here for the reverb it's going through. I'm gonna bring up the reverbs. Let's increase the send. Let's do posts. I'm gonna leave it on pre, and check this out. I'm bringing down the fader here. Check that out. If I switch it to post fader, they're not gonna hear anything unless I bring up the fader. So whenever you switch to pre-fader mode, it goes yellow. It's only the signal that is getting the volume in the send. So even if I drop the fader for this keyboard here, you're still gonna hear only the send. If I turn it on post fader, there you have it. You won't hear anything unless you bring up the fader. Let's back off on the send here. Yeah, so but I do apologize, I have a little bit of cold here. So hit me up, guys. Welcome to my friend Squint. Squint is online. How many bars are for the verse, hook, etc.? Well, Squint, this is a dancehall track, so it's normally, I would do like one bar. That's one right there. Like, let's bring it back. This is one bar here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. There, another bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That's 2 bars. Then I bring in the third bar. So on the third bar, the singer would kick in. You know, for the dance hall, if you listen to this track, it starts with the guitar, right? What is that one? Scorpio. So with these two bars, you can do an intro, and when it comes to the third bar, you can start to rap, cause that's where you hear the strings. That's where you hear the strings come in. So on the third bar, you want the verse to start. But you're the arranger, you're the producer, so you got to communicate with your artists and you know, arrange the song how they want it. So that's for Squinty. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. So as I continue my session feedback here, let me know. Let me know what questions I can answer, guys. So we talked about chopping up the blocks. We talked about routing on the mixer board here in Studio One. F3 is the shortcut key to bring up the mixer board. And like I said, this is Ground Zero rhythm. It's one of my rhythms that I did a long time ago. I haven't released it yet. You guys are the first that is hearing this. And I have about 4 other rhythms I'm going to be pushing out. Basically, on all these tracks, I'm doing a little bit of EQ here and there, just to get things in the ballpark. So I'm opened up for questions and comments, guys. Hit up your boy Rayburn and let me know what questions I can answer for you guys. Like I said before, I'm using the Akai drum kit to get that big bottom end kick sound. Akai is one of the best. There it is. The Akai MPC 2000 XL. Yeah. Let's see who else is diving in. We have 2 people watching now. 2 people watching. How do I see? Let me maximize the screen here a bit. Okay. So hit me up, guys. Hit up the producer. This is the time to ask a question. This is the time to learn what the pros are doing. This is the time to help you out in your mixing, right? So while you're there, waiting for any more questions here, I'm gonna talk about this bass guitar here. Normally I cut like about 450 here. I'm doing it about 9-8 dB. If I turn off the SSL channel strip here, the bass gets louder, but it's too up in your face. So when I cut out the 450, you have that more relaxed bottom end tone. while rolling off about 80 kilohertz, right? That's how you make space for the kick drum here. And this is the punchline of dancehall. Dancehall, dancehall, reggae, soca are my favorite genres. I basically build any style, trap, pop, techno, whatever. But dancehall, man, dancehall, reggae, and soca, the Caribbean stuff, never grows old. Just by hearing stuff like these, make you wanna bounce. I'm also using the NLS to get a little bit more analog sound here on the hi-hats, giving everything a little facelift here. So yeah, guys, if there are no further questions, Pristine is gonna be logging out. By the way, make sure you're practicing good gain staging, by the way. Let's put a limiter on the master fader here, just so stuff don't go overboard into the red, you know what I mean? So without further ado, guys, thank you Squint for logging in for this short stream here, and we would be putting more stuff out. I know there was a question about mastering, which I will say this. The mastering is different from the mixing. Actually, the mastering start from the mixing. You got to make sure everything's pre-cooked. You're EQing your instruments right. You're adding the right stuff, analog sound, whatever. So when it comes to the mastering, you only cutting out a little bit of this and a little bit of that just to open up the mix. There's not a lot these guys are doing when it comes to mastering. Just about most of the time, 1 or 1 dB and a half on certain frequency, and there you have it. Or they bounce it down. They put a tape machine on the mix bus. So, but that's a whole not a session. Mastering has to be felt. Same with mixing. There's no one formula to do it. There are times when I just use a compressor and an EQ on the master, or just a tape machine, and that's it. So, thanks for the support, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Look out for Ground Zero Dancehall Rhythm's going to be coming out